solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness, all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be. For justice wheels keep turning, Granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When Granny's crime busters run, no victims left in pain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. Come on in. Grab a seat. We are going to discuss the Lindsay Clancy case today. I wanted to delve a little bit more into what happened with Lindsay. And for those of you who may not know, this was Lindsay's family. It's Patrick Clancy, her husband, and her 3 children. She's from Duxbury, Massachusetts, and it's been 2 years since she took the lives of her 3 children. Yet her trial remains a year away, just about a year away. It's in January of 2026. She's 34 years old. She's now paralyzed from the waist down, and she's being held for court-ordered treatment at Tewksbury Hospital in Massachusetts. She is pursuing what's known as the insanity defense for the events that unfolded on January 24th, 2023, when her 3 children lost their lives. Plymouth County authorities indicted her on 3 counts each of murder and strangulation in the deaths of her 3 children, Cora 5, Dawson 3, and 7-month-old Callan. In the days after she took their lives, Clancy's attorney said at her arraignment that she suffered from severe mental illness at the time, dealt with complications from over-medication, and grappled with postpartum depression and potentially postpartum psychosis. Her husband, Patrick Clancy, has since moved to Manhattan and told the New Yorker that he hoped to root out lies and misinformation surrounding her case. I wasn't married to a monster. I was married to someone who got sick. The real Lindsay was generously loving and caring, and all I wish for her now is that she can somehow find peace. Clancy's case renewed attention surrounding perinatal and postpartum mood and anxiety disorders, also known as PMADs. One of the disorders, postpartum psychosis, which Clancy's defense attorney has referenced, is rare and affects 1 or 2 in 1,000 women. 1 or 2 in 1,000 women. Her trial is scheduled for January 5th, 2026, and her case renewed conversations about postpartum mental health and how well it's understood. So I wanted, she was a delivery nurse at Massachusetts General Hospital. She had letters of support from friends, longtime colleagues, guys. They said Clancy is a compassionate, supportive, and excellent nurse. There wasn't anything she loved more than her children, Cora, Dawson, Callan, and husband Patrick, and I am proud to stand by her. Prosecutors said that Clancy was a danger to herself and others, and that she planned this tragedy with deliberate premeditation and extreme atrocity and cruelty. At her arraignment, they described how she asked her husband to pick up medicine for the children from CVS and ordered takeout from a restaurant in a neighboring town. She used Apple Maps to figure out how long the errands would take, and between 5:15 and 6 p.m. that day, the children were strangled with exercise bands, authorities said. She then made superficial cuts to her wrists and jumped out of a second-floor window in an attempted suicide. The defendant did not take advantage of the situation when her husband left the house that night. She created the situation, and she used Apple Maps to make sure she would have enough time to do this to the children before her husband returned from where she had sent him. Clancy's attorney, Kevin Reddington, strongly denied the characterization of a scheming mother. He instead described her mental health troubles in the months before the tragedy and how she failed to receive adequate treatment. The Duxbury mother was not officially diagnosed with postpartum depression before the children's deaths, but doctors prescribed a cocktail of medications for generalized anxiety. Weeks before this tragedy, she voluntarily checked herself into McLean Hospital, a psychiatric facility in Belmont, on New Year's Day. The hospital discharged her a few days later on January 5th and did not find her a danger to herself and others. Our society fails miserably in treating women with postpartum depression or even postpartum psychosis, adding that it had been a relatively short period of time since the birth of the Clancy's youngest child, Callan, before the tragedy. Our society completely abandons women with this condition. It's medicate, 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 throw the pills at you, and then see how it works. Countries in Europe and Asia have laws that recognize postpartum depression or postpartum psychosis in criminal matters, and many allow for treatment rather than punishment. In the United States, only Illinois recognizes the condition in criminal cases. Only Illinois, guys. A law passed in 2018 allows judges to weigh postpartum mental illness as a potential mitigating factor when determining sentencing. The law also allows for women who were convicted of a felony but who did not have evidence of postpartum disorders presented at trial or sentencing to apply for post-conviction sentence reduction. This law was the first criminal statute in the entire nation that recognized postpartum illnesses for what they are: a unique, involuntarily, and pernicious effect on a mother's ability to care for and protect her child. So, obviously, guys, there is something to this. And I thought, well, maybe we need to delve into it a little bit deeper, right? So I wanted to kind of show you a couple of articles that I found. Put this off of here. Share my screen with you. So this one talks about PMADs, perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. It refers to a variety of mental health conditions that can emerge during and after pregnancy. These conditions affect about 1 in 7 pregnant people across all cultures, ages, socioeconomic levels, and ethnicities, regardless of their medical history, including whether they've been pregnant before. Without the right treatment, PMAD conditions can significantly impact your ability to care for yourself and your child. They can range from mild to severe anxiety or depression, start with distressing feelings or thoughts and significant mood swings, include changes in mood, anxiety, and in some cases, obsessive compulsive disorders. Okay, some of the risk factors are personal or family history of anxiety or mood disorders, lack of adequate social support, including support caring for your child, lack of a culturally sensitive support network, complications for you, your child, or both during your pregnancy and delivery, loss of pregnancy, financial stress, hyperthyroid or hypothyroidism, or other medical conditions that you may have. Some common symptoms are marked increase in irritability, loss of energy, difficult falling asleep or sleeping too much, trouble concentrating, remembering things, or making decisions, loss of interest in daily activities of caring for yourself, loss of appetite or overeating, frequent crying, excessive worry about or not enough concern for your baby, loss of interest in activities or things you typically enjoy, withdrawing socially from family and friends, feelings of guilt or worthlessness, racing and intrusive thoughts, possible thoughts of harming your baby or yourself. The one I wanted to get to, though, is the one that they're talking about for Lindsay. And these are less common PMAD-related issues, perinatal or postpartum psychosis. They're extremely rare. They occur in about 1 in 1,000 individuals, and symptoms can include extreme confusion, hopelessness, feeling distrustful or suspicious of other people, inability to sleep or excessive energy and not needing to sleep, seeing things or hearing voices that are not there. This was one of the things that Patrick Clancy had said that Lindsay told him, that she heard a voice in her head that said, you need to do this. It's time. Experiencing thoughts that lose touch with reality, delusional thinking. That's another thing he said, that she took their daughter to the doctor that morning because she thought her daughter had some problem with her liver or something, and she didn't. Turned out she didn't. He said it was like delusional, and then rapid mood swings. Now, I just want to make it clear, guys, that it's never a good thing to take someone's life, and she took her 3 children, right? She took the lives of her children. I'm not condoning that by any means. And I'm not one to jump on the bandwagon of not guilty because of mental insanity. I think that has been abused in our system in certain cases. But I am wondering if this, may be a legitimate plea for her, right? I want to look at another one here that talks about postpartum psychosis. Another form of postpartum depression is postpartum psychosis. It's a serious illness that can be severe and life-threatening. The psychotic symptoms include delusions, thoughts that are not based in reality, hallucinations, hearing or seeing things that aren't there, or disorganized thinking. Often mothers who develop postpartum psychosis are having a severe episode of a mood disorder, usually bipolar manic depression disorder with psychotic features. It is essential for women to get evaluation and treatment immediately. So I don't know if the place that she voluntarily, guys, she wanted help, put herself into, did not understand this. But I've got to tell you that everything that I am seeing here about this is serious. Here's yet another one, guys. Postpartum psychosis occurs in approximately 1 to 2 of every 1,000 deliveries. The onset is usually sudden, most within the first 4 weeks, with symptoms including delusions, strange beliefs, and her hallucinations, feeling very irritated, hyperactive, decreased need for sleep, and significant mood changes with poor decision making. There is a 5% suicide rate and 4% infanticide rate associated with psychosis, and thus immediate treatment is imperative. Immediate treatment is imperative. Without appropriate intervention, poor maternal mental health can have long-term and adverse implications for mother, child, and family. A mother's mood and anxiety symptoms have a direct impact on her partner as well. Her partner may feel overwhelmed, confused, angry, and afraid that she will never be well. This may place a strain on the couple's relationship. About 10% of new dads have depression, mood, or anxiety problems as well. So, I'm just seeing something here that, may very well be what happened with Lindsay. Guys, she was a nurse. She loved her family. She loved her children. All of a sudden, after her third baby, she's not doing well. Something's wrong. And so I wanted to look into this to find out just what it's about, right? So I did find a quick video on it. And it's like only 3 minutes, guys, but I thought it kind of explained a mother's thoughts as she went through this. So let's watch it.
Holding my hand like quite firmly, and then I hear this baby scream, and I just drop his hand and turn and run in the opposite direction, because right then I know that what they do is they find bad mums like me, they collect them up, and then they swap their babies for robots. The nurse came out from the ward as well, like, come on in, like, your baby's already in there, so let's go and see her. And she said that at the time she was just terrified, and that her priority was to get me into the unit to protect my dignity. I was completely convinced that they were still watching me in the unit.
This is honestly what Lindsay needed. She needed a specialized, right? She needed a specialized place for what she was going through instead of throwing different medications. She was on 13 different medications at the time that she did this, guys.
They had this black box on the roof, and I thought the black box was like filming me the whole time, recording everything I said. I refused to eat. I wasn't really drinking. They were then able to diagnose me with postpartum psychosis. I would sit twice a week with the psychiatrist, and he would say, score your how suicidal you feel on a scale of 0 to 10. And I'd be sitting there going 9, 9, 9, over and over again. The symptoms for postpartum psychosis usually start in the first couple of weeks post-birth. I didn't get diagnosed with postpartum psychosis until the baby was about 5 months old.
And look at baby Callan was 7 months old.
There was those precious moments that I should have been having, that instead I was running around the house worrying about like murderous ninja social workers. The most helpful thing to my recovery in the MBU was the fact that they nurtured my relationship with B. They have trained nursery nurses that do things like splash play activities or weaning classes or baby massage, and they help you play with your kid. And it probably sounds strange that I needed help to play with my kid, but I did. I needed someone to give me confidence that I was doing it right. The staff at the MBU did a really good job of personalised care, building up trust and sort of understanding you as a person and what your interests are. I am a complete pop princess, and so they brought in a little music player thing so that I could plug my iPod into it and listen to Beyonce loudly or Taylor Swift loudly and bounce around the room to that. That was again a way of like self-expression and of finding yourself again. For a long time I felt like I was a terrible mother, and it was really the mother and baby unit that changed my thinking on that.
So you can see that it's real, right? I mean, PMADs, it's real. These and guys, I had 2 children. I did not thank God I didn't have postpartum depression, right? But postpartum psychosis is what we think Lindsay Clancy had, and I can't even imagine. I mean, they have delusions and hallucinations, and it's weird how this comes on so suddenly, right? And I feel bad. I feel bad for her husband. And they had 3 beautiful little children, and here she is, paralyzed from the waist down. This was the day that she was on Zoom for her initial court appearance, right? And she was lucid, but and I know that the prosecution has a job, right? And that she looked up how long it was going to be, that kind of thing, for her husband to be out of the house and get all that stuff done. I don't know if all that's true, but that could all be part of the psychosis, right? And I'm sure that they're going to bring things into the trial to explain what it is. But I kind of wanted to look at it ahead of time. This case is one that seems to be close to everyone's hearts, right? And not everyone is going to believe that, she was mentally ill at the time, right? And she's been getting treatment ever since this happened, guys, in 2023, January of 2023. So she's been getting treatment not only for what she did to herself, but mental. And she has been ordered to have a psychiatric evaluation. I can't imagine the depression she has felt since she did this. I mean, I can't imagine what her thoughts are. I have respect for her husband. He doesn't say that he's still with her. I don't know if he is or not. I think that would be a very difficult thing to forget. He wants people to forgive Lindsay. He said she got sick. But it's not something you can always forget, right? I have respect that he wants people to forgive her, that he understands that she was sick. She had an illness. She was trying to get help for. It would be different, guys, if she refused help and if, he was trying to get her help and she wouldn't have it. But she voluntarily committed herself in a psychiatric unit. And in my opinion, they let her down. They released her. They let her down. But she needed a specialized place, and there are places like that. But sometimes, I mean, if you think about it, they had 3 children, it's not that easy anymore. I don't know what kind of job he had or what he does for a living. I know he was working at home because he had to be there to help her with the kids because she wasn't doing well mentally. So, maybe it was a matter of money. I don't know. But these things need to be made available, right? Right. And, you know, I don't know what their insurance covered or didn't cover or anything like that. But, um, you know, things have to change because mental health is real. And like I said, I'm not one that believes in the insanity defense, but in this case, I really think I do. I really think I do, guys. And, I'm not condoning the fact that she took the lives of these 3 little children. Not in the least, right? I'm not. That's never right. And she'll have to live with that for the rest of her life, right? She's going to, and Patrick has to live with that. And that's not an easy thing, guys. I can't even imagine. But, that's something that I don't think it's going to do her any good to put her in a prison. I mean, for the rest of her life without any mental health care. She's going to be in a wheelchair. So I don't even know what I imagine there are prisons that have the ability for disabled prisoners. I would think that's fewer far. I don't even know, guys. I don't know. But I mean, I did want to just kind of talk about postpartum depression and psychosis in relation to this case because I think it's going to be a big part of the defense when the time comes. And you know, I know that she has been ordered to have a psychiatric evaluation before that trial's done. So I'm sure the defense will want their own and prosecution will want their own. But we're not going to see this go to trial until next January, guys. And so seems like a long time away. But yeah, I did want to just kind of go over that. I also want to share my grannyism for today. Talking about mental health. Your mental health is first. If you aren't okay mentally, you won't be okay physically, emotionally, or internally. Take the rest, distance from negativity, and take care of your thoughts. Heidi V said that. I don't know who she is, but I think mental health is a big thing in our country, and that's why there's so much crime. I think there's a lot of, there's always red flags, right? The school shootings and mass, unalivings that take place. It always reverts back to mental health. And I'm not saying all these people should get off on, the insanity plea. I'm not saying that. But I am saying, as a country, we need to start taking care of our mental health. I think it will cut down on crime in a big way. And if we don't speak up when we see something, we're not helping. So that's what I wanted to leave you with today. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at grannyscrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.